Hello everybody and good morning, and thank you very much for being patient, because now I'm finally uploading my G.55S review. I've been saying I was going to do this for a while, but I've actually had footage filmed. For a very rare case, I've actually had footage filmed for this aircraft prior to doing the garage part of the review, which is unusual for me. Normally I do the garage review first and then take the vehicle out, and then spend ages getting frustrated when I can't get decent games in it. This was not one of those cases, however. So, the G.55S is a Tier 4, battle rating 4.3 Italian fighter. Premium Italian fighter. So you get three 20mm MG151 German cannons with 650 rounds. With a 1 second burst mass of 4.13 kilograms, which is quite impressive for the amount of armament that you have. Max speed of 634 kilometers an hour at a height of 6,500 meters. Max altitude of 10,000 meters. Turn time of 19 seconds and a rate of climb of 18.8 meters per second. Of course, the turn time is the virage time. That's the time where you flick the rudder from left to right and the plane turns horizontally. So that it's actually much more maneuverable than that. Max repair cost is 8,470 lions, and the reward is 462%, 1.54 times 100 plus 100 plus 100. In my case, because I have a premium account anyway, so ignore the one of the 100s on there. Credits reward 810%, 2.7 times 2.0 times 100. So, the modifications for this vehicle. You do get a torpedo for it, but I've seen a lot of people asking, why can't I equip the torpedo? I get into a game, I do the armament selection, and it just comes up with the bombs. That's because you have to pay for it. So, the torpedo is a 45cm F200/450 torpedo. Drop speed is between 0 to 301 kilometers an hour, and the altitude should be no higher than 120 meters. I tend to drop it a lot lower than that, but torpedo weighs almost a ton, and the maximum speed in the water is 80 kilometers an hour. This is a very fast torpedo, and it has a range of 3 kilometers. But I would never fire anything out of a kilometer away, especially if at a moving target, personally. It adds weight, obviously, adds to drag, lowers your max speed, decreases your climb rate and your turn time. You also get bombs as well, 50 kilos and 100 kilo bombs. I use the air target belts, armor piercing incendiary tracer, high explosive incendiary tracer, and incendiary tracer shells. This gives you 3 chances out of every shot gives you a chance of setting the target on fire, and the quicker you take a target down, the better. A lot of people have been asking whether this plane is overpowered. My vehicle reviews, especially my premium vehicle reviews, are not here to make you part with your money. That's completely up to you. You can choose whatever you want to do. I'm just here to give you the advice, and you can make your own mind up. But, in my opinion, this aircraft is not overpowered. The only reason it's doing so well at the moment is due to the fact that most of the players that are playing it are quite experienced. It's not a difficult plane to fly by any stretch of the imagination, but it does have some serious downsides, or one major downside at the very least, which I will go into when we get into the gameplay. So, you will notice, while we're here, I might as well mention this, I do have the G91 pre-series. I've actually finished the Italian, almost finished the Italian tech tree. I just need to purchase the R1 G91. I finished the grind on the F84G, which I've just started grinding. I literally just finished the G91 R1. And get the P108B, which is only 11,000. That'll take me a game to get if I do it in the G.55S. There will be videos up on the G91s. I very much enjoy flying them, but that is a subject for another video. So, thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you guys. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Comment, I'm going to start doing this now, Comment any vehicles that you would like to see me do a review of. For now, we'll stick to any Italian vehicles you want to see me do a review of. I do have most of the tanks in the game. The Russians, I'm up to the T-62. Germans, I've got the first Leopard. You know, I've got the Chieftain Mark III. I've got quite a lot of the high tier tanks, so I can do reviews of most tanks from most countries. Aircraft, though, are a bit of an issue. So, aircraft-wise, Italians, any Italian planes you'd like to see me fly, I'm more than happy to do so. And review them, although it's more likely to be preview videos because most of them aren't fully upgraded. And same with tanks as well, any reviews you'd like to see me do of tanks. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. I will put the edit this video, stick the gameplay together, and upload it as soon as possible. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys. Hello everybody, and welcome to the first match in the G.55S. For this game, we're on Norway. I've spent the first few minutes of the match climbing to 3,500 meters, just ticked over to 3,600 there. The engine, I said in the garage part of this review that this aircraft has a few issues, which is why I don't think it's overpowered. First is the fact that the engine overheats incredibly quickly. This is unlike any German engine I'm aware of, and these planes do use German engines, exactly the same as they use German cannons. They overheat incredibly quickly. However, in most aircraft, on the German team, you can just flick the throttle to 0, leave it for a few seconds, and you'll at least be back in the amber again, if not in the white, and you're free to wep as you please. In this plane, once it gets past 90 degrees centigrade, it doesn't tend to want to go down any further. It will cool down, but it will heat up incredibly quickly as soon as you go back on the full throttle without wepping. This is one of the major issues for this plane, in my opinion. The second we'll get into a little bit later. So, what's going on the battlefield? Well, I haven't spotted any enemy aircraft yet. We're just hovering above the cloud cover. But we're going to start spotting targets soon. This is before I started taking my torpedo out, by the way. This is before I bought it. So, no ground strafing in this video, I'm afraid. Although if you do get on the Norway map, I certainly recommend trying to use the torpedo. It's at least 5,000 experience just for killing a cruiser, especially if you've got a premium account as well. So, first target's up. P-47, two P-47s rather, and a P-38. They're below me, I'm above them. Unusual for an American team, but hey, American teams. Level the plane out into somewhat level flight, gain some more airspeed, close distance. And now I have to decide which target I want to pick. One P-47 is being engaged. But the P-38 is trying to get the P-47's tail clear. There's an F-6F down there as well. I dive down into the clouds, they disappear, I pull back out again. I don't know where they're going, I want to have a visual on them first. Roll back over, just to avoid ripping my wings, overspeeding the aircraft. I should have let the wep off in the dive here, but I wanted to close distance as quickly as possible, so... I have never ripped this aircraft, by the way. Never. First target. Burst, completely missed. That was awful shooting on my part. But if I'd stayed on station any longer and tried to follow him in the turn, I would have rammed him. Lost control. Level on my G skill on this crew at the time was rather poor, so that's why that is. But roll it back over again. I'm going for the P-38. Slightly bigger target, and he's flying in a straight line. He doesn't seem to have realised I'm there. Burst. Take the right wing tip off. I go to fly away and then realise he's still flying, so fire another burst. I want to put him down. Down he goes. What I should have done here is check to my left to see where the other P-47 had gone, which I do. But he's not spotted anymore. He may have been shot down. I can't really remember. Message on a postcard. Anyway, pulling back up. Whoa, that was close. P-51 booms through the clouds and misses my plane by several meters. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider the size of your plane... Diving on a P-47 now, pull up. I can out-turn the P-47, so I'm not too concerned about him getting behind me, but at that distance, turn, dip underneath him. Don't particularly want to go head-on with a P-47, it's a bad idea. I may have the better guns, but he certainly has he's more than likely to have better aim than me. Diving on him, take his left wing off. So that's my second kill. F6F. 392 cannon rounds remaining. Oil and water are both in the amber still. If I reverse the F6F, no luck. So make for altitude again, roll it back over, and lead to follow. I can see where he's firing, so I know roughly where he is. Fire another burst, get a hit. Nothing spectacular. No crits or anything. I get hit there by something. I think that may have been flak, but I'm not too sure. Fire another hit at the F6F. Get a kill assist. My squad mate takes the kill. This was a random squad, by the way. Roll it over to get out of the way of the guns of whatever is behind me, which I haven't noticed yet. What is it? Oh, it's that cheeky little bugger. Right, okay. And the 109 clears my tail. Thank you very much for that, player. Thank you in chat. And now I decide that I'm going to try and land. My engine is overheating. I'm not running too low on cannon ammo, but I'm going to take the opportunity I can to rearm and refuel whilst I have it, in case a landing craft capture our base. If you try and open the landing gear up on this aircraft at anything over 250 kilometers an hour, they will rip off, so you need to be going very slowly. Although thankfully the stall speed is quite low.
The enemy is winning. We must counterattack.
And by the joys of video editing, here we are, fully repaired. Just taking off. Going to find the last remaining players on the enemy team and finish this game. This has been a 3-kill game, but we don't quite make it in time. So, let's head to the hangar and check out the results. Okay, so, premium aircraft. 8,000 parts research, 12,000 experience, and I unlocked my G.55. This is with a premium account as well, I may add, but that was 3 kills, it's average for some people. So, our last game is on Kursk. Not a map that I've seen very often in this aircraft, but this was one of the best games I've played. Coincidentally, it was also one of my first. Which is unusual for me. I never claimed to be, nor will I ever claim to be the world's best pilot in War Thunder, but I do believe I'm a better tanker than I am a pilot. If I ever get kills like this in a game, spoilers, it's usually more than luck to judgment. So any decent player is really going to make the most out of this aircraft. So, once again, we've made for altitude. I don't like flying this plane low, even though it's manoeuvrable. I always like to boom and zoom. That's just the way I like to play. Naturally, this works better with 109s than it does with turn fighters or energy fighters, but this plane, if I had to sum it up, I would definitely say it was a jack of all trades and a master of none. It's manoeuvrable, but not quite as manoeuvrable as the Spitfire. Although if the Spitfire pilot is not as intelligent as you may hope, then it's easy enough to out-turn them. But I would never say that was a certainty. The guns are quite possibly the best part of this aircraft, although, as I've mentioned, I'm not the best pilot, so I can't always make the most out of them. So to begin with, I'm thinking of diving down here to the P-47 and the IL-2. Diving down, 3,000 meters almost. it's only fair that I critique myself as well as other people. I should say that this is not the best choice to make in the world. For a start, there are enemy planes above me, and you should always engage planes by altitude, and never the type of plane that it is. You should always prioritise via altitude. If a plane is higher than you, he's a priority target. You should be above him. But, nevertheless, I threw away my somewhat of an altitude advantage just to dive down for the sake of getting 2 IL-2s, one of which is already dead. The second, however, sorting out in front of me, going head on with another player. First, take his tail off, aircraft destroyed. First kill. Dive back for speed. That is the second issue with this aircraft, as I mentioned in the garage part of this review. It's not very fast. This may not seem like much of an issue, especially when you consider that you can do nearly 800 kilometers an hour on a dive, although it does compress quite badly, which is something else you need to consider. Although, speed is not everything, but most aircraft I've ever tried chasing in this plane will outrun you. I've learnt that from experience. So what have we got up here? P-63 Air Cobra, well, King Cobra I believe that is, a Yak-3, but I don't know which one, and an LA-5. So that's a 37mm gun and 3 20mm. Not particularly anything I really want to go head on with, that's for certain. As I said, I might have more guns, but that doesn't mean I'm going to kill them. You have to be a good shot, which I'm certainly not. I decided to do a little bit of team play here. There's a G.55S in front of me, who has gotten himself into somewhat of a shitty situation. Managed to get the King Cobra on his rear, as well as the Yak-3 as well. And I think there may be another plane coming in from off of my left wing, but we can't see it at the moment, it's out of frame. Stupidly, I go for the P-63 first to begin with, and then I realise the Yak is closer. So I go for the Yak first, rather than him getting on my ass when I kill the King Cobra, assuming I can catch it. Fire burst, trying to get the lead, not going too well at the moment. Crit, fireballed. That's the air target belts for you. Cobra silhouettes himself right in front of me. Easier shot this time, but I need to get the lead, and takes his left wing. You're all in your left wing! He thanks me. I say no problem. More people team played like this, maybe you'd win a lot more matches. Food for thought. So, 3 kills in this game, as it was in the last game. This is pretty much me done from now on. I fly around a bit, but we don't see any other enemy aircraft, and somebody else gets the final kill. So, let's head to the hangar and check out the results. So, results for the team. First place on the team, 8,000 modifications research, 12,500 experience. And a metric ass ton of credits, 80,000. This is why we fly premium.